Hello friends, in this session we are going to learn a new type of program, and we will try to do a small project based on this particular topic. Here what we are going to do is we are going to scrap web pages using Python programs. Now what does scrapping a web page means? So scrapping basically means it is a technique to pull out large amount of HTML data out of the web pages and to save it on your local drive. So this technique is used largely to collect data from different websites and getting it together to analyze, to work upon it, and to compare the data which are there in the sites. Companies like Trivago, etc., use this web scraping as a tool to get different hotel informations from different websites and compare them together to analyze and get the information to their customers. So web scraping is a very important tool which is used to take out or pull out large amount of data from a website. Usually when we are reading out a website, or when we are going to take something from website, we have to cut copy paste, apply cut copy paste, and take out the data from the website. But this is not possible when we are going to do it for large number of websites. Say for example, I want to roam about 30 or 40 websites, and collectively I want to get the data from those websites. So here stands the need of web scraping as a tool to get automatically data out of the websites. So web scraping in Python, using Python we can web scrap, we can write programs which can web scrap. So what to do, how web scraping is done in Python? Suppose I want to take out some data from a particular website, or I want to read out the HTML in a website, and again in a given website I want to read out the HTML. So using Python we can do this particular thing. So in Python, web scraping could be easily performed using simple two modules. There are two simple modules which are built-in modules which can be used to web scrap the Python web pages in Python. So two of them are Beautiful Soup. It is one of the module. The name is itself Beautiful Soup, and the other module is URL lib. So these are the two modules which we can use for web scraping in Python. Now let us find out what we will do in our project. In our project, the objective of our project would be to create a program which will scrap notices and news from the announcement section of our website and then read it aloud. That means what? Our program will read the news section of a particular website, say for example my own school's website, and from the announcement section it will read out the news announcement. That means the program itself will read out, will change the newslets or the news items into a mp3 or maybe a sound file, and read out aloud to tell the news to the audience, right? So the objective of this project is to convert the content on a web page into a sound, or read out the web page loudly by the program. So let us find out whether we can do it or not. Since the news extracted in our program will be read out by the program, so we must require here one important module to convert our text into speech. So thanks to the Google, we have this module, and which is known as GTTS. This module is basically Google text to speech API, which converts the text into a speech. So we will also use this module along with the other two modules that we have discussed earlier. The other two modules we have discussed was the beautiful soup and the URL lib. So along with beautiful soup and URL lib, we will be using Google Text to Speech API or GTTS module to convert our text into MP3 files. So the objective of our project is quite clear. We want to extract some portion of our website, say for example the news or announcement section of our website, and convert those text into speech and let our program to read it for us. So let us begin. Let us start how to write the code. Let us learn this very important one of the important aspect of Python, where we can uh, use Python a bit forward in making exemplary programs. So let us find out how to install beautiful soup. So it's basically what you are doing with other modules. The same thing is to be done here. So pip install bs4, pip install gtts, pip install url lib. So these three are the important commands to install all these modules which you will need here. So after installing these modules, you have to inspect the HTML code which you need to scrap. So now you have to study the HTML code very methodically, that which HTML code or which portion of HTML code you want to take out and you want your program to fetch from that HTML page. So we note to need we are in need to note the important HTML tags which we will use, uh, which will be used by our program to extract the text from those particular tags. So let us find out whether we have in our website whether we have those tags or not. So let us see. Suppose this is my website, this is my school's website. So here you can see that this is the section, this middle section is basically, this middle section is what this is, basically the section which has the important announcement or news article, like admission is closed for all classes, etc., etc. So I want to read this particular section. My program will read this particular section and convert this section into text. So let us find out what the HTML code for this section will look like. So what I have to do is right click on it and go to inspect, and you can see that the HTML code is generated here. Just highlight the section where you want your code to begin to extract the text. So I am in the admission closed for all classes. So here you can see that this is what it looks like. My division is basically, if I am selecting div class art article, you see here the code in the right hand side, the HTML code, where we have a division section starting. We have a division tag whose class name is art article, and this division tag is enclosing the whole of the content, the middle content. And inside this division tag, what you observe, that we have different other division tags like text align, and we have paragraph text. We have paragraph tags enclosing the text. And these texts are actually the news articles that we want to read out aloud by our program. So basically what you observe here is you have a div tag, and inside that those div tag you have various paragraphs or the news which you want your program to read aloud. So we have to carefully note down this name, the name of this div tag, and the name of this div tag is art article. So we have to extract the div tag, and inside within it we have to extract the paragraph tag. So there are two tags to be extracted, the div tag, and which div tag? The art article div tag, or the class name is art article. Inside that div tag we have different paragraphs for each of our news items. So let us do it. Let us remember this particular name art article, because it will be used in the code later on. So let us move on to the code now. Very soon we'll see the code. Now let us find out what we have here. So inspecting our required HTML code is one of the foremost requirement. Now let us concentrate on algorithm. What is the algorithm that we have to follow in this program? So first what we have to do is we have to use URL live module to open the designated URL. Designated URL here is my school's website, that is KV2 Kanchapada, and using URL live module I will just open up this URL, and then what we have to do is we have to create a local file object containing the HTML which is parsed from this URL. So what we have to do is we have to take the URL kv2kachapada.org.in, and from that URL we have to create a local file object which will contain all the text HTML code of that particular page. So URL live module is used for this purpose only. So just to extract the HTML content from the designated web page and put it into a local variable or store it into a local object, local file object. So now after this step what we have to do is we have to create a HTML string variable for reading the file created in the above step. So whatever file we have created, the HTML object we have created in the first step, that file needs to be read out. So we have to take a string variable and we will read out that file content into that string variable and store it into that variable. So we will read out all the file content from the variable, from the file object created in step 1, and then we'll store it in another variable in step 2. So now coming to the next step, that is a beautiful soup constructor. There is a beautiful soup constructor. Since we are using beautiful soup as a module, so an important object is beautiful soup itself. So beautiful soup has a constructor function which will parse the data file which is generated in step 2 and create the beautiful soup object containing nested data structure of HTML tags present in the data file. So what the beautiful soup object will do, it will be having it will create a nested data structure of all the HTML tags which are present in the data file created in step 2. So this is the third step. We have to use the beautiful soup constructor to generate a data structure which will contain all the tags which are there in the data HTML file or data file which is created in step 2. Now in the next step what we have to do is we have to use some API functions of beautiful soup and apply the appropriate functions to iterate through the exact section of the HTML that we have chosen. Right before we have chosen one div tag. So what we have to do is we have to choose the appropriate API function of beautiful soup to iterate through the sections of HTML that we are intended to read out aloud. So basically it will be a div tag or a paragraph tag. So we will roam through, or we will iterate through the data structure created in step 3 to find out the div or paragraph tag and extract the text inside that div or paragraph tag. And then the last step is to convert each of the data inside the paragraph tag, that means the text inside paragraph tag, to MP3 files using GTTS module. So GTTS, here comes the role of GTTS module. It will convert your text which are there in the tag, division tag, or say paragraph tag. It will convert those text into sound file or MP3 file, and then simply play the audio. That's all. So what you have to do is, first step is to use URL lib to create a local file object which will contain all the HTML read out from that particular website. Now in a HTML variable you have to store the contents of that file, that data file, and using beautiful soup constructor we have to parse that data file which contains the HTML, and we have to create a data structure containing all the tag structures present in that page. Now in the fourth step, we will use the beautiful soup API functions to go through those data structures and find out which tags we are interested in. So specifically we are interested in some of the tags like div and paragraph tag, that too in the middle section of it. So we will extract those only and then convert the text inside those tags into a sound file and read it out and play it out. Sorry. So let us find out how to do it, how to write the program. So now very quickly we will move on to the code for this algorithm. Let us convert this algorithm into code. So what I am using is Python 2.7 idle. You may use 3.6 also, no problem with that, but I am using it here 2.7 only. So going to the shell of it, you have to create a new file and you have to write starting the you have to start the program. So what we have to do is we have to import first the three important modules, that is bs4, url live and gtts. So let us import it out. So I will write bs4 from bs4 import beautiful soup as soup, and then from url live I will import say url open. So and from GTTS I will import GTTS, and I will import two important modules OS and sub process. Okay, so here it is. Now I have to take the URL. The designated URL is http / kv2 org.in. So this is my URL, and then you have to create a variable file to get that URL content into a local object, a file object basically. So open URL open, and then you have to read from that file object created. So mclient.read, using the read function you will read that file, and then you have to use a variable called paste soup. I'm taking paste soup, and then I will use uh, a constructor function of the beautiful soup object. So that will take two parameters, the the readout file and the mode in which we will parse the readout file. That means we are here parsing it in HTML mode, so we are writing HTML dot parser. So this is the thing. Now in a variable I will use the page soup variable and get all the uh, div tag as a list of div tag into an object called c, and this is being done using a function called find all. So I will use find all to extract all the div tag and store it into a variable called c. So div tag, and you might have remembered that my div tag was named under class called art article. So art article was my class name. So here I am closing it out, and then let us iterate through this div tag and get all the paragraph tags which are inside that particular div tag. So then ct is equal to I dot find all. I will find all the paragraph tags which are there inside this tag, this div tag, and then I am taking a variable. It is simply for naming my sound files, sound 1, sound 2, like that I will name the sound file. So I am taking here the sound file, this variable to be used in the sound file, and then I am again iterating. There is internal loop to iterate through all the paragraph tags which you have found out just right now. So for J in CT, what you have to do is you will simply iterate through it and get the paragraph tag content into a GTTS file. So I will write my object is equal to GTTS, and then here you have to pass the parameter text is equal to j dot text, and language is equal to English. So English is the language, and then the third parameter is slow is equal to false. That means my sound file will play slowly, it will not go very fast. So this is the object. That means each of the paragraph tag is being converted into one object, the sound file object, and I will name this file as a new file name, file 1, file 2, like that I will give the name. So next step is doing that. So my object, in the my object file, what the GTTS has produced, that object will be used to save the content into a sound file. To I will save it in a capsule file format. So capsule cap plus str num. So number is for numbering the file number, cap 1, cap 0, cap 1, cap 2, like that it will increase on. So num1 plus, and then I will give the extension of my file name as mp3, that is the sound format we'll use here. So mp3, and then what I have to do is I have to take the OS module and I will write os.system, and here I will give again the same file name as capsule plus str of num plus mp3 again dot mp3. So dot mp3 has to be given, and again I had to write the sub. I have to use the last module sub process dot call, I will call it, and I will pass a list having two elements. So open is the first element. That means I am going to open the file which I am calling through the sub process, and then the file name, has to be given. So file name is capsule, and then the name, that str plus str of num, and then plus mp3 dot mp3 was the file name. So I'm writing dot mp3, and this has to be closed out. Now if you are using a Linux system, or say I'm using the Mac system, Mac OS, that so for this we have to use this sub process module. Otherwise you may use OS module. The OS module itself has a function to open up the sound file that you have created. So if you are using a Windows system, you need not write this step sub process dot call. Instead of that, what you will write is you will write simply os dot start file. So for you, if you are compiling your program in a Windows system, you should write substart os dot start file, and then you will write cap and plus str of num, and then plus dot mp3. So your code will be having this type of thing if you are compiling it in a window machine. So instead of writing sub process dot call, you will use os dot start file. So that's what is the exception here. So num is equal to num plus equal to 1. So I'm iterating through. So let us find out what again what this code is doing. So these are the import as you all know, and then we have a URL variable having the URL of the kv2 kachapada.org.in, and then what I am doing is I am opening up this URL and getting all the content of that URL into mclient variable. Okay, so mclient is my local file variable in which what this file stores, it stores the URL content, the HTML content from that URL, and it stores it into the local file called mclient. Now I am reading out this mclient and storing it into a variable called r, and using the constructor of the beautiful soup module, that is soup r comma HTML parser. I am parsing this HTML data file that I have created in the previous step. So I am parsing this R in HTML mode, and I'm after parsing the content, it is creating a data structure containing tags of HTML. It will have tags of HTML. A well formatted data structure will be formed by the beautiful soup module, and it will be stored in a variable called page soup. You can name the variable anyway, so I've named it as page soup. So page soup, now using this page soup I will do the rest of the my program. So inside this page soup, all the data structure containing all the tags from the HTML file is being captured. So what I will do, I will use a function called find all to find all the division tags inside that particular page soup. And in the division tag, I will specifically I will point out my division tag. The name of my division tag is class art article, because I have to choose the middle section only, leaving out all the rest of the sections. So I will name my div tag as class art article, so it will only choose that particular division tag which is having the class name as art article, and leaving out the rest of the division tag. So it will take out those division tag, and it will store it in the variable C. Now what this C is actually, this C is actually a list of a variable, a list variable having all the division tag. Now I am iterating through this list, and I am again finding out how many paragraph tags are under this particular list. So I'm finding out all the paragraph tags which are under this div tag. So I'm creating again a new list called CT, which is having all the paragraph tags under this division tag. And then I am iterating again through this paragraph collection of paragraph list for J in CT, and then I am converting using GTTS. I am converting these paragraphs, the text of these paragraphs, J dot text, into this GTTS gets it converted into sound file, and that sound file is being captured in a GTTS format. It is captured and it is being stored in an object called myobj, and I am then saving this myobj in my local drive by the name of cap1 or cap0.mp3, cap1.mp3. Likewise, the number of the iteration of num will decide what is the name of the file, cap0, cap1, like that it will go on. So cap1, the first file will be cap0.mp3. likewise it will proceed. And lastly, what we will do, I am instructing my operating system to open up this particular system to link this particular file .mp3, and then at last I am calling the subprocess.call function to open and to run this file which has been created in the name of mp3. So this is all about the program. Now let us find out how when this program will execute, how it will look like. So let us find out. Let us run the program, let us run the module and see how it goes on. So you have to name the file as, so for example I am giving it as a uh, scrapper. So scrapper.py. So saving it, and here it is started, giving no error till now. And let us see whether it reads out my things or not. So I'm opening up the page, so section by section it will read out. Let us find out whether it reads out or not. So here is, it is going to read out. So you can see that it is reading out, it is reading out all the things. So it is reading out the contents, and you can see that it is reading out one by one. So here it is, this is the program which reads out the content.
It's 12:30.
Panel of Contractual Primary Teacher PRT 20 Panel of Contractual Teacher for 2019-20. The 20th of the learning process starts with the tiny tots learning the importance of nature and blossoming. The teacher is not a strict taskmaster but a friend. Mission statement. Kendriya Vidyalaya Number 2, Kanchrapura. Useful links. A. Content Primary, Secondary, Senior Second Online Labs Class 9 and X. A. Content ZIET Mysore. Sam.
And it gives you the output as a sound file. So this is our program, screen reading program, and it reads out the sound file one by one after another, and it gives you the output. So thank you for this session. What we have done, we have created a small project. Let us concentrate on the code again. This is a small code using a beautiful soup module, and using URL open and URL live module and GTTS module, we have created a small project to read text from a particular web page. Thank you very much for the session. Again, next day I will be coming with new topics and new projects based on Python. Thanks one and all. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like this video. Thank you.